Hi, I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron, founder of Step by Step Dyslexia Solutions. We're a 501c3 nonprofit and charitable organization. Please like this message today and share it with a friend. And if what I share with you inspires you, I wish you would go to our website and make a donation to help me keep these messages going forward. You can find us at dyslexia-solutions.com. And I want to share today that dyslexia and learning a foreign language in middle school and high school. So, did you know that your dyslexic child doesn't have to take a foreign language in middle school? High school is different. 2 years of foreign language is required. Considering that dyslexia is a disability associated with language learning, it's not surprising that many dyslexics find learning another language very difficult. And passing the foreign language high school requirement may be a daunting task. Although there are many types of dyslexia, no two individuals have all the same symptoms, and 20% of our students have dyslexia. They have difficulties breaking language into its component sounds, called phonemes. This makes decoding words, an essential part of reading, quite difficult. When I taught second language learners at the middle school, they chose to take Spanish and improve their language skills. Spanish has many similar roots to English, and it has a predictability factor. And students enjoy this, although it's still difficult. They like being with their friends, but I think they're really proud of their heritage, and they know they're making their parents proud. So students benefit learning the grammar rules, which may help them with English grammar rules. Some parents of the autistic students had their students skip a foreign language. It was way too hard. But all students with IEPs can skip a foreign language in middle school if you advocate for your student. So high school is different. You have to, you know your child already struggles with reading English, so now you're very concerned that she has to learn another language. You don't know what this year is going to look like. Your child is already scared and frustrated. How do you help her now? First, be sure you have your child assessed as being dyslexic, so you can request the accommodations or modifications. So accommodations are something all students can have, like more time on a test, or maybe answer less questions when the same question is already answered correctly. So modifications are not things that are offered to all. High schools are not really used to doing this. So having a dyslexia assessment will give you the authority and the validation for asking these things for your child. So the language program your teacher selects should be a multisensory program, and it should have structure to it. I've seen middle school Spanish teachers put those students through hell because they didn't use a structured program. And the parents couldn't really support the students because they didn't even understand the assignments. So being a student that has dyslexia is a great challenge. Speaking a foreign language can be intimidating. When it comes to time to learn a foreign language at school, many feel that the ordeal of mastering literacy skills is not really worth all the time and effort. A student that has dyslexia will have to work extra hard to pass this class. They'll not only have to speak the language, but they'll have to memorize and write it. However, with time and patience and your encouragement, the student can learn a new language. It's important that parents speak with the high school counselor before your child's freshman year of high school. So try to meet with the foreign language teachers as well prior to the year, possibly at the open house. And see what they've taught. See if you like what their projects were. See if you click. Ask the teacher if he or she has worked with dyslexic students before. You have to feel comfortable with this teacher. Also, find out if there's a possibility the school could waive the foreign language requirement for an alternative assignment, and I'll talk to you more about that later. You must be careful considering this option though, because most colleges and universities, if your child is going to a college university, will want a foreign language coursework, may want that foreign language coursework prior to the application. So you really need to start early and consider the waiver as a process if possible, but it could be difficult. So be sure the student chooses a language of interest. I took Spanish in high school, but French was my true love. In college, I pursued French, and I had two very different professors. One was a native French woman, and it was so difficult in her class. She was so intimidating, and she failed me. I couldn't meet her expectations, and the other students seemed to grasp it a lot more, more easily than me. But I had another professor and English was her primary language. She taught me really well, and I earned an A in her class. She also inspired me with the culture of France, and I was able to visit France my junior year of college. Not all modern foreign languages are equal. Some, like Danish, French, and even English, may be difficult for the student with dyslexia, while other languages like Spanish, German, and Italian may be easier to learn. For instance, it's generally believed that Danish speakers swallow their sounds, swallow the consonants, which makes it tricky to hear exactly what those sounds were that were spoken. Looking at a word on paper, you'll not necessarily know how to pronounce it. The same could be said about French language, where certain words are pronounced the same way, but they have different meanings, just like English. So be sure your high schoolers select something of interest, and be sure you meet the teacher and you understand and you like that teacher's model. You can also talk to other parents whose children have had this teacher. Did you know you could ask your child's school if they could learn the culture rather than the language? So culture is taught in middle school as well as language, but see what this looks like in high school. Maybe some of the high schoolers are being more creative these days. Cultures such as Mandarin, which doesn't have an alphabet, should be considered. Also, learning Chinese. The meaning of sounds can be matched to specific characters. This uses a different part of the brain than the language processing side. Recent studies have shown that dyslexic students have fewer difficulties learning to read and write in character-based languages. As a parent of a dyslexic child, you want your student to succeed in school. I know you do. Given the amount of challenges associated with learning English with dyslexia, it's worth engaging services of a native speaker to help your child as a tutor, coaching him or her. Adapting the method of teaching your child to best suit him or her will make a huge difference for dyslexic kids. Undeniably, you have worked hard up to all these years, and it doesn't end. But don't be discouraged. Remember that everyone struggles with the second language. You are a champion. Perhaps you'll surprise yourself to learn that you can learn a second language as well. When your child had trouble reading, you went above and beyond by helping him learn the material despite the barriers he faced. The same can be said for learning a foreign language. Remember, one of the reasons why languages is so hard is you're not just learning a language, you are learning how to learn language as well. You are a champion and your child can achieve success, especially with an online environment we're in right now. So again, if this has inspired you, and you would like to contribute to the nonprofit so we can continue with our message, please like us, share us, and visit us at dyslexia-solutions.com. Have a blessed day.